So yeah, thanks Manny. I'm here to help businesses define their B2B target audience. What I mean by B2B is business to business. So that's a business selling to a business rather than a business selling to consumer, which is B2C. So a little about me. I've told you a bit most about me, but just to say that generally I'm really passionate about getting your audience right, your messaging right, measurement, and maximizing marketing for SME businesses. So first of all, why does a business need to define their target audience? Well, most importantly, to get better results. That's what I'm passionate about, and that's probably what businesses want. With better results, it creates better messaging. So an example here is an IT business selling IT support to businesses. If they were doing the generic sort of I sell to everybody, they might do something like IT support for businesses, 25 years experience, cost-effective solutions. Really generic, not really telling anybody what they particularly do. A potentially improved version would be fast and reliable IT support specialising in SME businesses within Yorkshire. They've helped over 100 businesses in the last 25 years, and they do monthly packages from £30 per month. That's much more targeted. People know what they're trying to appeal to. They've got experience in that area, and in terms of cost, it's something affordable for an SME business. The top one could be targeting a big corporate down to a one-man band you don't necessarily know. And then I work with a charity. We've noticed since defining our audience into healthcare professionals, so occupational therapists, physiotherapists, and end users, so families that have disabled children from 0 up to sort of 14, we've noticed a 94% increase in average engagement on social media. And in terms of emails, we've noticed a double open rate and an 11 times increased click rate. So those sort of things speak for themselves. So getting your results and messaging definitely is worthwhile. And then I just want to dispel a myth, because a lot of people think, well, if I do a target market, that means I'm not going to be able to sell to the rest of the market. Sales and things will still come through from them through referrals and just existing clients potentially referring business. So don't think you're you're crossing off, 2/3 of the market if you're just going to go for some, maybe 3 target markets at a time. So with those examples, if you're sending out, if you've got a target market, you potentially are sending out less emails, you're potentially sending out less leaflets because you're much more targeted to that audience. So it helps you waste money, basically. A big thing here is about shouting and hard selling. It's one of my bugbears, really. If a business is saying all the time to everybody, this is what we do, this is how we do it, to everybody all the time, it's the equivalent of basically shouting and hard selling at an audience, and it puts people off and turns them off, even if those potential people might be your audience. I always advise businesses to have maybe 3 target audiences at a time. You can sort of start with them, try, tweak, test them, and then rotate them. It doesn't mean that you can move on. You might have 20 audiences that a business could do, but it's a question of choosing 3, trying those, testing them, tweaking them, and then rotating them. You might have different audiences for different products at different times of the year. So it's a question of just finding out what suits your business. But don't just stick with 3 and never change them. And then competition helps. I suppose it helps you become better in the marketplace, in terms of you becoming an expert and being a guru in that area, and somebody that knows what they're talking about and knows the customers that will come to you and how you can help them. So how to pick a target audience? I always say to people, sort of start with your past and existing customers. So who are the profitable ones? who are the loyal ones, where have you added most value to, who have you enjoyed working with, that's still important, and how the ones that maybe have grown with you, try and replicate these. Look at potentially the experience that you've got or the team's got. What experience have you got that an area that you can particularly focus on? Check out the competition. So what are your competitors doing? That doesn't mean that you don't avoid what they're doing, but it just gives you an idea of what other marketplace there might be gaps in. So for instance, there are marketing consultants out there that might just focus on manufacturing, engineering, legal services, and that's fine. As I say, don't necessarily avoid those, but just be aware of what's out there and can you create a niche for yourself. So number 4, look at your products and services. Who are they really useful for? Who benefits from them, and who's going to get the most value from them? And it might be that out of your products and services, you might offer a range of them. Pick 1 or 2 and just go, right, we're just going to talk about these products with this audience. So you're not confusing the whole messaging. Look at your social media insights. Some are better than others. I think Facebook's really good at telling you, so look at who's following you, where do you get your engagement from, which posts are useful in terms of engagement and in leading to inquiries and obviously then sales. Google Analytics gives you a whole ream of information about your website and how it's performing, but in terms of just for this, it helps you with age and gender of who's actually potentially visiting your website. Pain points, marketeers talk about pain points a lot. They are really important. What pain points are you solving? What solution are you giving? So it might be that you are saving money, saving time, ticking off a compliance checklist, offering something green to a business, for instance. Look at what's a pain point for them and see if you can then, do you have the services and products that fit those? And then what's unique about your business from a customer point of view. So a lot of businesses will write down, I've got so many years experience, I know how to do this, I know how to do that. But actually, if you can apply what you've written to a competitor, it's not particularly unique. So you need to dig deeper and get more specific about why you're unique. And the good point to go where for this is maybe go to your current customers and ask them why they chose you in the first place, why they stay with you, what you bring to their business, basically. They're the most honest ones that will give it to you from a customer point of view. So this is an example. The left column are the elements that you should consider when putting a target audience together. I see lots of target audiences and they might just do industry sector and maybe geography as a push, but it's really important to get down to all the other elements. And on the right is an example that I'm going to go through. So I've chosen a photographer as a business. So there's a photographer who wants to take photographs for businesses, and they want to get into architects. So obviously the industry or the sector is architects. Geography, location, obviously Yorkshire, and 30 miles radius from their postcode, probably their office or something like that. Size is always good to have, but it can be a bit of a movable feast. You can put it onto turnover, but sometimes I work with businesses that have got tens of turnover, up to millions of turnover, and sometimes it's just about the mindset of the business manager. So they're ambitious or they want to grow, but having an idea of turnover is a good point, and number of employees. You could also put in there number of locations if you need a business with multi-locations as an ideal. So this photographer wants to talk to the marketing department, and within the marketing department they want to talk to the marketing managers. The marketing managers are generally aged 25 to 45, and they're predominantly female. The next one's a really key one. It's what's important to them and how are they measured. So how are these marketing managers measured in terms of photography? So they need to be up to date. They need to have their houses or extensions captured well. They need to be measured on the number of views they get potentially on website or social media, the coverage they get within media, and ultimately inquiries, which then hopefully lead to sales. So it's that sort of thing is important to get under the skin of your target audience. And then who do those business managers report to? Well, business owners generally. And again, it's good to think about what impacts them as well, if it's different from how the marketing manager is potentially measured. Pain points and challenges. These are, so for the marketing manager, they want good qualities, they want them quickly, and they want them in the right format to be able to put on websites or social media. They don't want to faff about with having to resize things or things to be too heavy or pixelated. We've all been there, it's really annoying. In terms of the knowledge awareness of products and services, yes, the marketing manager understands photography. Now, some businesses are quite complicated or a bit more technical, so cybersecurity, we get the idea, but it's very technical. So this marketing manager needs the photographer to obviously have the technical expertise to make things look as good as possible. And then keywords are the words which the marketing manager might put into Google to look for a photographer. So the photographer could have just put in photography, too generic, not specific enough. So they might look for things like architectural photographers, professional photographers, aerial photography, property photography. Really important. You don't sort of keep it too, you think if you keep it too open, you'll get more inquiries, but actually getting down to some of the nitty gritty within the target market will definitely help you be more targeted and focused and actually get a better conversion in terms of people coming to look for you and potentially using the business's services or products. So in summary, it is worth spending the time getting 3 target audiences and going through that exercise. You sort of think, oh God, it's going to take me long. Once you've done 1 or 2, it becomes much quicker, and you sort of get into the sort of the mindset of it. And with that, you'll definitely drive better, targeted, more engaged results and hopefully save some money on the way. It makes marketing activity easier because you can start to actually think of that audience that you're talking to, and you know what they want, what they're looking for in order to hook them in and inquire about your products and services, rather than being generic and getting potentially inquiries from too small a company, too big a company, or companies that you can't help if you've been sort of too generic. And generally, it's just to help become more memorable and be known for a specific area. So, for instance, we're all doing networking now. When we were doing the face-to-face part of it, I met somebody at a networking event. We probably spoke for 10 minutes. I met her once. 9 months later, she referred someone to me because at the time I'd said to her that I was looking for people in drinks or hospitality. 9 months later, she referred a client to me because they were in hospitality. If I just said I can work with anybody, she probably wouldn't have remembered me or necessarily referred me. So become memorable and become specific definitely helps people be able to refer you. And then I've just got a free offer here, which I've been doing actually through COVID for businesses. I'm happy to provide any business with a list of keywords. So these are the words that a potential customer might type into Google to find you. No strings attached. Happy just to provide those. I'm also happy to have a call with anybody if they've got any marketing issues or just want to find out more, again, under no obligation. We'd love to connect on LinkedIn. And there are my contact details as well, which I'll put in the chat after this. I hope that's been useful, and I don't know if there's any questions that have popped up or if anyone's thought of anything they'd like to ask.
Yeah, I'm just going to go look into the chat to see if we've had any questions come through. If anyone has any questions, you can unmute yourself now and ask. I'm actually going to kick off with the first question based on part of your presentation. You said to kind of get feedback from your existing customers. How do you envisage we should do that? Is that through like questionnaires, through reviews and Google? What would be the best way to speak to existing customers to understand why they work with us and what they found unique about us?
I suppose it depends on how many clients you've got. I haven't got hundreds of clients. I don't want hundreds of clients. So if you've got lots of clients, I think a survey, and even a simple thing through SurveyMonkey, actually in terms of just having a survey to clients is a good marketing thing to find out why they're with you, are they happy, and again then you can use some of that messaging for future marketing messages. So a survey is always a good thing, not all the time, but definitely worth using. So survey's good, and if you've got a handful of clients that you're quite close to, or you do a monthly sort of catch up with, so either in a monthly regular catch up or just pick up the phone and just say, depending on if you've got a good relationship, and just generally ask them. So phone, survey, in a monthly meeting. You could even put something out on social media, just sort of saying, why do you like us, or words to that effect, or even like a poll on LinkedIn, something like that, if you think you're going to get some good response.
Does anybody else have any questions based on what thinking? Keith, do you want to?
Hi, Rachel. Thank you.
Hi, Keith.
In this day and age, everybody talks a lot about just online and online marketing. What do you feel the sort of like getting a balance between online and actually offline, such as traditional advertising, press-wise, and anything else, as long as you can target? Would you still say that's relevant nowadays?
Yeah, I'm a great believer. I think online has its place, but I wouldn't forget the traditional stuff. And the advertising is still important, as long as you are asking the right questions, being able to target and measure it. So yes, is print advertising dead? I don't think so, as long as you're getting the right one for the right business and you can measure it, and you're asking the right questions. A lot of people or businesses get phoned up and said, I've got a brilliant bargain for you. It's a price, instead of 500, it's 300, and they jump into it because of price rather than finding out what's right for them. So definitely print and traditional marketing has a place, definitely.
Yeah, I think you're right there. A lot of people just think if I can knock a price down, everybody's going to come knocking, whereas it's more like, what's the benefits of this, and who's going to actually want it from the start.
I also think for print media, it can't be a one-hit wonder.
Oh God, no.
And a lot of people think they're going to put one advert in one magazine,
Yeah.
and that will be it. The phone will ring off its hook. It needs to be a consistent, a monthly, a quarterly, whatever the sort of the. But definitely, if you can only afford to do a one-hit wonder, don't do it.
Well, exactly. It's like, say it's a couple of our retail clients, they do weekly press advertising, and that week they don't have anything there, everybody will think they've gone bust. That's it, No, thank you.
Do you have any other questions from the group? Just raise your hand or take yourself off mute and put that in. I've actually got one more if no one else is showing a hand for Rachel. Is given the current economic environment that we're in, what advice would you give to, there's quite a lot of local SME businesses in the group here. What advice would you give to them in terms of how to move forward as we start to come out of lockdown, in terms of if they work in the B2B sector? For example, we work in the B2B sector. Keith Park, who obviously does print, works in the B2B sector, Ben Cooper, etc. So what advice would you give to businesses in the room in terms of, what tips and elements like that would you give in terms of what channels to potentially focus on and what we should be focusing on right now?
I'm a great believer in maximising your free stuff. So I think the key thing is to stay visible. Some businesses have gone to ground and haven't kept going. But however a business is going, social media, obviously being free, is definitely worth doing it, but it can't again be just an ad hoc thing. There needs to be a consistent plan there. and I think, you know, it's a question of drip feeding things in. So email marketing, again, can be a sort of free, good way. Social media, even just, you know, having your leaflets and that kind of thing, depending on what business you are. But, you know, leaflets and that kind of thing has a place. Making sure your website is updated, keep blogging, and just, I think, keep visible, be your expert in your area, get your messaging right and your audience right. And hopefully people can bounce forward from that, really.
Yeah, fantastic. That's amazing. Just last call out for anyone for any questions. If not, then I'll move on to finish. Actually, John has a question. Go ahead.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you for that. Very interesting. My marketplace has completely changed over the years. I was in conventional business for a few decades, and I've now gone as a direct salesperson into a health and wellness area. So my target market is basically anyone who wants more energy, wants to lose a bit of weight, wants to have no brain fog during the day. So we do quite a lot on social media, like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and it's just where we're not selling anything, we're just giving out free samples. And if they want the free sample and they like it, fine, there's our website. Do you think that's going to change in the future, or is there still a market to do emailing or conventional marketing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I still think your target market is quite broad. So I would potentially start and, you know, break it down into, you know, whether it's mums that have got young babies that need extra energy, or whether it's people setting up in business that need that extra energy. So I would really tone it down and sort of hone it into a bit more into that. So you're resonating, you're getting into their pain points. You know, are you lack of sleep because your baby's always crying or whatever? I think there are, I still think there's a place for social media with that kind of thing where you're offering something for free. You're always going to get the people that are going to take it and never going to convert, or they're always, I call them the promo junkies. They just want anything for free and they might not ever use it. Or so I think that's always a hard one, that if you're giving something out free, you're going to have a lot of potential interest, and then the conversions are going to be lower.
If we send out 100 samples, percentage-wise is quite low on the return on those samples. I mean, it costs me money, but it doesn't cost the person money. We have to buy all the stock in, and sometimes we get a bundle for free, and then they're great. We just send them out, but the return on that is difficult sometimes, because you just say people want something for free. Oh, that's great, I'll have that, and then they disappear into the abyss. You don't hear or see them anymore.
Yeah, all people are slightly suspicious, because if you take something for free and then you're then going to hound me with lots of marketing until I sort of definitely buy your product for a month or whatever. So people are nervous about some people love the free stuff, but you also get those that go, ooh, am I going to sort of I can't say no, and people find it hard to say no, and they always think that there's some strings attached. So I think it's maybe getting some of those messages out and maybe honing it in, and then you might avoid some of the promo junkies.
Well, we do a 3-drip system, like one day, miss a day, next day, and that's it. And if they come back and then we talk to them, if it's not for them, it's not for them. But thanks for that. Appreciate that.
All right, fantastic. I just first of all like to say thanks to Rachel for presenting today. Absolutely amazing presentation. First time we've had a guest speaker. For anyone else, here's our upcoming events over the next couple of months. Our next event is in 2 weeks' time, where we'll be talking about LinkedIn advertising. I think it falls on from this talk really well, especially in terms of B2B. So we'll actually show you how you can target your audiences and how to set up a LinkedIn campaign, and almost like a beginner's guide, and go through that. On the 12th of August, we'll be talking about adapting our digital strategy in the new normal. So after assessing everything that's happened over the last few months, how should you be moving forward? We have events in September online for the 9th to 23rd of September. As I said, thanks to Keith Loveday, who'll be guest speaking about branding on the 23rd. We do have 2 other guest speakers lined up already that have shown interest. One talking about video, another talking about web. So if you want to be a guest speaker, get in touch. We'll be probably doing these events monthly and online for the rest of the year until it's safe to do so, to return back to physical events where you can all begin to enjoy our beautiful Samosa breakfast again. And then finally, do reach out to us if you have any queries, if you want a free digital marketing strategy. I know a few people in the room have already benefited from that. You know, if you want to look at other events that we've done in the past, or go back and look at historical talks we've done in terms of Bobble Bitesize, all our videos are at bobbledigital.com/Bobble Bitesize to view. You can go on our YouTube channel to view all the talks, all our historical talks, etc. If you have any specific queries that want to be a guest speaker or want to reach out by anything digital marketing or advice, then just email me at manfred.singh@bobbledigital.com. Based on that, I just want to thank everyone for attending this week. An hour, really, really great, on time. We really appreciate your time and those that come on a regular basis, and obviously really nice to see new faces this week. The event will be shared for the 22nd this afternoon, and then we'll have Rachel's actual talk in a video uploaded hopefully before the end of the week on LinkedIn for you to view and be on our website, and then I'm sure Rachel will share that out. So thanks again to Rachel, thanks for everyone for networking and joining, and yeah, we look forward to hopefully seeing you at our next event on the 22nd. We hope you all go and enjoy a fabulous lunch now, and enjoy the rest of the week, and hopefully the summer will come out and we have something positive to talk about in 2 weeks' time. So thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, guys.